Hey there, Hollywood fans. Welcome to this week's show. So last week it was all about the farm jams. Then we went straight out to pick up on the action from round number 1 of the GXCCs out in Rysmierbult. Normally Rysmierbult, we race a little bit later in the year, so it's super dry and dusty. This time we had those gorgeous late season rains and it was absolutely prime. Really good numbers on the juniors, quads and the senior motorcycles gates. And this is what went down as we kicked off the new season of GXCC's round number 1, Rysmierbult. All this GXCC racing action is proudly brought to you by VW Mastercars Hatfield in association with Vans Racing. The opening round of the GXCCs in 2025 is here. 8 rounds of the championship last year, 8 rounds of the championship this year, and we open up at Rysmierbult. Opening up shop here for 2025 at the GXCCs, an amazing tour, and we start out at the classic race venue of Rysmierbult. Ferdy, opening up shop for us once again here at Diggers Inn. Ferdy, thanks so much for hosting us, buddy.
Only my pleasure, net my plesier en altyd lekker om julle mense hier te hê. Thanks vir julle deelname, is altyd lekker om julle hier te hê. Thanks Emil.
Thanks, Ferdy. We'll definitely be back. Okay, we'll let you get on with the rest of your day. I'm going to chat with Vian now. Vian is absolutely pumped about this one. Vian, good numbers, small numbers on the quads, but I think the track is absolute banger.
The two of us went out yesterday and we had some good fun like in the old days. Had some nice rain, the ground is really tacky, moist and so much grip. It's just going to be such an awesome track today.
Before the morning session, we chatted to a few of the kids.
Morning, Harvey. Welcome to GXCC round 1. Tell us what class are you riding in and what do you expect the track to be like today?
The juniors, and I expect it to be rough.
Rough. Is this your first year doing GXCC?
No, last year was my first year.
So this is your second year?
Yeah.
Well, all the best for today and we'll chat to you afterwards. Little man, welcome to GXCC round 1. We're in Ventersdorp. What do you expect the track to be like today?
I expect it to be rough. Not that rough though, because I don't want to end up falling.
And a lot of muddy sections, some rivers.
Are there gonna be rivers? I'm not sure, but if there is, I'm prepared.
And where do you expect to finish today?
First, second or third.
Okay, well done. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Tell us what you're expecting and what class you're riding in.
I'm riding in junior. I want to get the whole shot so I can just slide through the track.
Yeah.
That's especially the forest section. It's really tight, so yeah.
Danielle, we're back at Ventersdorp. It's a new season. Tell us what you're expecting today.
I'm expecting a lot of competition. I feel like everyone's a list for it. I don't know what the English term is, but I'm excited to see how it goes. And there's a big group full of girls. So let's see who wins the championship this year. So yeah.
Tell me, what do you think the season is going to be like? What are you expecting from today?
I'm very excited. A new year, new things beginning. So yeah, I'm very excited. So yeah, I'm proud of my Honda. I'll never go back what I had before, but yeah, this season.
So I see it's quite a big team.
Yeah.
How many guys have we got in your team?
I think it's 18. No, 12.
12 people. That's quite a lot, huh? Beginning of the season, what are you expecting today to be like?
Good morning. I'm expecting today to take it slow. This is the first race. Let's see how the track is and then take it from there. But I believe that it's going to be a good race today.
Yeah. Safety first always?
Safety first always. That's why I want to take it slow, take it a bit slow and then see how it goes in between. I hear it's tight for the first section and then it opens up. So let's see how it goes.
And your team support?
Teams, Denver Racing. I've got Denver Racing with me. That's my team, and RSA Made Logistics. They are the ones that sponsor me. But yeah, everything is going fine.
Morning, Jax. This is your second year racing. What are you expecting today to be like, you know?
I see there was a little bit of rain, so hopefully the dust is not that bad. But yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Okay. Yeah. And your team support?
I must say thank you to my family, my mom, who's always supporting me. So yeah, thanks to them. Without them, I wouldn't be here.
Okay. All reactions done. The morning session. The quads and juniors, itchy and twitchy, starting to get themselves wound up and ready to go. A 3-hour race for the quads, a 2-hour race for the juniors. First gate and first flag drop of the season would be 8 riders on the Q1s. Jaco Wolfart, so strong off the gate, this time matched by Marius Lombard on the EMD QCon machine. Those 2 riders would have clear air going out onto the main loop. Q2's Hannah Simon, the reigning and multiple champion, alongside Rian Dick and Tinas Kutzer. They would see what they could do about plying the field and getting through the traffic to the top step. Steph Bester joined us on the Masters Gate. He was back, banging bars with the DeSanti, Fernando and Roxy. The ladies would be the penultimate gate of the morning send-out for the quads, allowing the veteran masters to do the chase down and see what they could do. But for the ladies, Celeste Berger, always so strong off the gate, and a return for one of the former quad queens, Corrine Thiessen, was back. The final gate then would be the veterans, where Darren Moyle, captain stock standard, alongside C.S. Blicknote and Darby DeVette, would do the chase down onto the back wheel of the ladies and see how high they could climb. And then we turned our attention to our junior categories, where in the senior 85s, there was going to be new blood at the top. Jay Eels banging his first ever big hole shot of the season, alongside Nico Malitsani. A huge gate on the junior 85s with a lot of the pro 65s moving up. The machine, John-Luc van der Westhuizen and Ulrich van Asverken, would see the best starts of the morning session for them. In the pro 65s, Alexander Nemeth is definitely the dude to watch out for on this gate. Looks like he's going to be hammering the field throughout 2025. And in the pro 50s, Jack Peltzer, so good off the gate. A championship runner to watch out for is Bernard Blicknote, and Blakey Kruger, so strong on the numbers this season as well. Let's chat to Vian about the morning track. All the haters out there, Rysmierbult is not a clipper track. It is absolutely gorgeous. Take us through the morning session for the juniors.
Well, you know, we always start them off on this side where they're going through the back here where they've been digging and mining and throughout the years. So it's a lot of stony, loose, tight, twisty sections. And once they've gone through that, just to separate the field and they jump over the road, as you saw yesterday, then it opens up and it's nice and flowing and fast again.
The big track, though, is going to be about the quads. And one of the big features was the new river. Talk us about that.
Yeah, we posted a couple of videos and photos and we had phone calls. Oh, that looks like a deep river. But you saw yesterday, it was only about probably 10 centimeters
not
deep.
Not even half a wheel.
No, it's but it's a long section. It carries on and it's so much fun. It's a nice splash and it'll cool them down. But yeah, that's probably the most difficult part of the whole track. There's nothing else that's technical as such. Anybody can ride it.
Varied terrain. I thought it was actually very varied. A lot of flat land, a lot of grass, bit of rocks, bit of copy. It's kind of got everything.
Yeah, what I enjoy about it is you know, it's not a single top sort of track. You know, you get your tight and twisty sections, forest sections, then it opens up fast again. Then you go into grasslands with tights and twisties. Then you jump over the road. Then it's nice fast sections around the millie fields. Then you go into the Kopi where it's really tight and flowing coming down. Then it opens up again. So it's a nice mixed terrain of for racing. It's perfect.
It's the morning session. We're heading to the line for the juniors and the quads. Out onto the course then, picking up on our 50cc Warriors, Eckstein. 2 laps under his belt with DJ Bloom in a number 5 spot. Taylor DeVette, good enough to splash her way around the course. And Bernard Blicknote, a strong championship runner in the number 3 spot. Blake Kruger though, 1 step ahead of the game in a number 2 step. And the whole shot kid, Jack Peltzer, takes first blood. But the 50cc championship is looking strong in 2025. Up the road and picking up on the 65cc Pro Gate. Remember, we've had a lot of moving and shaking in the off-season, so we are definitely nailing down a new championship player, a new number 1 plate at the end of the season. Masali in a number 7, Kellen Van Deventer in a number 6. He clearly had some issues on the day. We expect Van Deventer to be running inside podium positions the whole way through the championship. Number 5 spot on the day at the opening round went to Malatiana, with Matthews just up the road in a number 4. Great to see Rogan Matthews making the bold move up from the 50cc's and looking like he is nice and comfortable on his 65cc machine. Remember, after the kids have moved up from the 50s, they tend to spend 2 to 3 years on the 65s. So we'll be talking about these kids for a long time to come. Lincoln Deister, so strong in the off-season as well, definitely put in the training. Ulrich Sturley up the road in the number 2, but only just losing out on the eventual race win to Alexander Nemeth. Nemeth and Sturley were joined at the hip, glued around 5 laps of racing in the morning session, but it was Nemeth that drew first blood. The Junior 85s would also see new champions at the top of the charts come the end of the season. A lot of experience on this gate though, with a lot of young blood coming up to challenge for the top positions. Julian Vanderberg in a number 8. Umbiyazu was down there in a number 7. But good running from the kids that are crossing the borders from Lesotho every single time. They understand now how to get the best out of themselves and their machines at the GXCCs. Declan Richards from the Vans Racing Husky squad, a champion off the 65cc gate, and he takes a number 6 ride at his first time of asking. Lawrence Erasmus was just ahead of him in a number 5, and then the Vans teammate Jean-Luc van der Westhuizen, the machine that pulled the whole shot in the morning session, dropping a couple of positions throughout the race to eventually take his first GXCC ride in the 85s to a number 4 spot. That's not bad for one of the smallest kids out there. Marahi, so good off the gate, the 107, bit of a whole shot hero, and we expect to see him running inside the top 3 throughout the season. He delivered once again a number 3 spot at the opening round, but Juan Agostini was sublime out there. Very strong numbers, and again, a close run thing. Less than 30 seconds off the win. Agostini in the 2 spot, and Ulrich van Osbeken, the younger brother, getting the job done this time around, takes his win. That will boost his confidence heading towards the rest of the season and the National Championship Tour. And then the big kids on the senior 85s, they would go out there and dominate and throw down the biggest lap times of the morning session on the big track. Tristan Spencer, 6 laps, all the top 8s staying on the lead lap. Masito, very aggressive rider, elbows high on the number 27. He was in a number 7 position. Maletsani to a number 6, and Ulrich Fari to a number 5. All the lap times were extremely close. The senior 85s and the junior 85s is going to be a wild championship. Ulrich Fari to a number 5 in a huge dice the whole way through the morning session with Twane Tienpont and Ruud Potgieter. Those guys were all over each other come the end of the race, separated by less than 30 seconds, dicing it out for the big number 3 spot. Eventually, Fari to a number 5, Twane Tienpont to a number 4, meaning Ruud Potgieter was the best of the rest, taking a number 3 finish at the opening round of the season. The whole shot superstar Jay Eels, riding out of Savvy Brokers, was up the road in a number 2 spot. Probably put together his best ever GXCC ride. And again, all these kids looking for that confidence booster at the opening round to take it forward into the rest of the season. Eels, just over 30 seconds off the back wheel of eventual race winner, the Bikers Warehouse Husqvarna, the man that came in as the big threat for the championship, delivered. Pierre Kutsia takes the opening round win in the Pro Senior 85s. Pierre, double trouble. Great ride last weekend, another solid ride this weekend. You're in the zone. Tell me about today.
Well, today I didn't have the best start, I can say. I went out like in 7 or 8 place. I caught up with everyone, and just when I wanted to go past Jay Eels, I crashed into the bushes, and yeah. And then after that, I caught up at least, and I won the class.
So tell me about the guys that are on your gate. Lots of guys changing up categories and moving up into other classes. It's been an interesting start to the year, eh?
Yeah, our class isn't they really very good. The junior class is also very good, and well done to Ulrich that got first overall. Well done.
Jay, everyone always super nervous coming into the first round, but it looks like you did some good off-season training. Tell me how the first race went for you.
Dit was baie lekker. Ek het dit baie geniet. Laps was fast, corners was lekker. The rocks was lekker. Was very smooth. I like it.
You know, I went out there yesterday and did the briefing. Do you think I got it right?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about the competition, because this year seems like there's a lot of moving and shaking in the categories.
It's going to be a lekker competition this year. Hope we're going to win the seniors and going to be good on the podium.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Thank you for Savvy Brokers. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for my family. Thank you for the supporting. Thank you.
King, first race of the season. Looks like it was a perfect track for you. Tell me how the day went.
My bike stalled on the start, but then I passed a few people, and the track was actually nice.
It didn't even curse you last year. You got so many great starts, and now you start the first year with a problem, eh?
Yeah, I was so mad. I don't know. Yeah.
Just give us a breakdown of the track. Tell me how it ran out there, and I think just sum up your competition as well, because it was a busy day.
The first part of the track, before the road crossing, it was twists and turns. Then they were nice, but there were quite a few rocks. Yeah. The second part, it was just flat. There were rocks on the straight, and I almost fell full speed. Yeah.
And what about the competition this year? There's a lot of different names coming up. I mean, it's a tough gate.
Yeah, Juan, he's flying. This year I see he has been practicing. Yeah. So Juan and what's it? Yeah, 370. Yeah, they're flying.
Klein Shane, tell me about your day. It looked like it was a perfect run.
Dit was baie lekker. Ek moet sê die baan was baie lekker. Ek het 'n paar valle gevat, maar jy moet net deurdruk dan deserve jy wat jy gekry het.
You look like you've done some off-season training. You've got a great setup on your bike.
Dankie. Ek word nou gesponsor by dit. Ek's baie gelukkig oor dit.
Blakey, you are in great form. Tell me how the day went for you today at the first GXCC.
It went good, a bit rough, but made it through. So I'm happy with the track. And I'm good. And I like how I placed because I don't know, but I don't know.
Let's confirm those results then from our junior categories. The senior 85s, Gia Kutsia, top of the charts. Jay Eels will be a close competitor throughout the season if he can hold his form. Potkita, Tien Pont and Farid give us our magical top 5. Close run, so very, very close times was the story of the juniors. The junior 85, similar situation, with the top 2 very, very evenly matched. Ulrich van Asvirgen and Juan Agostini. Then Marahi, Van der Westhuizen, Erasmus and Richards. Again, another very close championship. Check out those times. In the Pro 65s, Alexander Nemeth. Very good numbers on the page, but the closest finish of the morning session. Just 1 second in it between himself and Sturley. Deister, Matthews and Malatiana getting the job done ahead of Van Deventer, Masali and Nell. And in the Pro 50cc's, Jack Peltzer kept his nose clean, whole shot and ran away with it, but Blake Kruger improved throughout the day to eventually take a number 2 spot ahead of Blicknote, De Wet, Blum and Eckstein. That's the juniors done. Let's turn our focus to the big track and the quads. Just under 50 kilometers each lap and 3 hours of racing. For the quad ladies, they were able to get the job done and put in 3 laps across the board. Danielle Esterhazen and Madeli Muller were joined at the hip at the first river crossing. Same river, but a slightly different section of the track that we approached. Definitely not as deep as in previous years. Liesl Simon, good enough to get the job done and stay on the lead lap to eventually finish in a number 4 spot. She'll be pretty happy with that one. Celeste Berger, so good at nailing down consistent rides and bringing home championship points at each and every round. She opened up her racing account with a number 3. Just 1 minute off eventual second place runner, Madeli Muller. The Mullers have come back swinging in the last couple of years, and great to have Madeli as a new championship player, bringing out the big 4x4 Can-Am and seeing what she could do. But as we said off the gate, it was the return of one of the quad queens, Corrine Thiessen, back with a bang on the Suzuki. And at her comeback race, she got the top step once again. In the quad veterans, remember they were last out the gate, so they had to deal with catching up to the ladies and making those passes. Some fun times for stock standard Darren Moyle. He got the whole shot cheese, also staying on a 3-lap lead out. So not a big attrition rate at the opening round, showing that it was built nice and quad friendly. Even though there was a river crossing, nothing went above the airbox, as we like to say. So the quads kept on trucking. Moyle down there in a number 3 spot. Sears Blicknote happy with his run of form to a number 2. And Davy De Wet, the main man out of QCon EMD, splished and splashed and rock and rolled his way to an opening round win, putting more than 4 minutes into his closest competitor. In the Quad Masters, going to be an interesting championship to see who can beat out the might of the Desanti. Roxy was second out the gate, but he had problems on lap number 2, meaning he was down in a low number 5, low for his standards. Bernardo Fivas into a number 4, and Steph Bester. Great to see Steph back on a quad. I don't think he's raced in around about 4 seasons. Big Steph on the big bike, 3rd place, 3 laps under his belt. Karamba Jobi, so cool, one of the biggest smiles out there, loves coming GXCC racing on his aging quad, but the quad was still good enough for a number 2 finish. But he was some 15 minutes back off the eventual race winner. Fernando dos Santos, the DeSanti coming in large and in charge the last couple of seasons, the lifeblood of the quad racing community, showing that they are out there, they mean business, and they will be in it to win it at every single round of the championship. For the Q2s, no big surprises to see EMD QCon all over the gate. Rian Dick, even though he is off his borrowed bike and back onto his main machine, he had problems at the end of lap number 2, eventually limping it home with one wheel missing. That meant he was down there in the number 4 finish. The L70 of JJ Baitenbach was good enough for a number 3 spot, but he dropped down off the lead lap. The top 2 runners were light years ahead of the rest of the field. Tinas Kutzer, 4 laps and 3 hours and 48 minutes. A very long day in the saddle for our top quaddies to go out there. Second place for Kutzer, and then the multiple champion, Hannes Simon. Both the top 2 runners on the big Hondas with the independent rear suspension, showing that the setup on those machines worked out. Hannes Simon achieves his goal of an early race lead in the championship. In the Q1s, 8 riders going off the gate. Sean Kutzer managing to get 7 laps under his belt. Marius Lombard so strong off the gate, eventually dropping down to a number 6 finish. And Tian Wolfart on the KTM gets it down to a number 5. He'll be relatively happy with that, but only 2 laps showed that he had issues out there on the day. The whole shot superstar, Jaco Wolfart, dropping down to eventually finishing in a number 4 spot, but he was on the lead lap, showing that he is definitely part of the conversation in the championship. I said the Mullers were out in force. Megs Racing pulling the Mullers back in. Ruan Muller, 3rd place, and just 2 minutes off eventual 2nd place runner, Apollo dos Santos. Told you the DeSanti were everywhere at the opening round of the quad championship of the GXCCs. But it was going to be all about watching who would take the first Q1 win. That rider walked away with 3rd in the overalls and a win in the Q1s, showing that he is definitely going to be a massive threat this season. Francois Smallberger, a great setup. He's been on that Honda for the last 3 seasons now, knows how to get the best out of the wagon, and he walks away with the Q1 450 win at round number 1.
Darby, great to be back at the GXCCs. What a season opener, hey. Tell me about your day.
Good. Steady, nice track, lots of prep. I can see Vian, yeah, they put in a lot of effort, really, yeah. And just steady, had a good run and just kept it, yeah.
Rysmierbult's interesting, hey. It's got a little bit of everything. Take us through the track, try and describe it from your point of view on the quads.
Well, the start, of course, is through the sort of the technical. You got to keep it straight through the sort of the tight corners, and then it opens up a bit, and then the copy. But the copy is fine. I think Vian was nice for us. It was a lot easier.
You got an easy copy this time.
Yeah, we got an easy copy, and then back, and then around. So it's lekker.
How's a little water splash? Easy on the quads?
Yeah, it was okay. It was a bit deeper than I thought because the front wheels squash a lot of water, so it was a bit more hectic. But yeah, it's lekker. Love it.
Great feedback from Darby. Good job from all the quad racers at round number 1. Confirmation of the win in Q1s going to Francois Smallberger Sr. ahead of Apollo dos Santos, Muller, Wolfart, Lombard and Kutzer. Good feedback on the track from the quaddies in the morning. Hannes Simon gets 4 laps and gets the lap record in the morning session, beating out on Tinas Kutzer. That's going to be a massive fight throughout the rest of the season. Baitenbach and Dick making up 3 and 4 in the Q2s. Quad Masters, everyone chasing down on the back wheel of Fernando. The DeSanti at the top of the charts at the moment. 15-minute win. That's the biggest gap we saw in the quaddies. Jarby, Bester, Fivas, and Roxy dos Santos. Roxy will be a player and will come back strong at the rest of the rounds. In the quad veterans, Davy de Vet, we caught up with him after the race. He had a big smile on his face. One of his best opening rounds of the season, with Blicknote and Moyle doing the chase down. Queen Kareen on the top of the charts at the opening round, ahead of Muller, Berger, Simon and Esterhazen. Good gate for our quad ladies. That was the morning session, and before we go into the afternoon, let's go catch up with VW Mastercars Hatfields that once again had their big VW crafter out there. They've done a massive conversion in the off-season, rolling it around the country, showing what they can do. So if you want to get a really rock and roll rig and go racing with style and get jealous looks from the rest of the pits, go see the guys at VW Mastercars Hatfield.
Story of the afternoons was going to be stacked gates and incredible lineups. The championships were going to be wild in 2025. We caught up with some reactions before we went to the gate. A couple of changes in the off-season. Last time you were racing out here was on the big Honda. Now you're on the Husky, but she's got legs, eh?
Yeah, no, she's fast. She's going to pull me today, but I'm going to see how it is. Test her out, have some fun. Yeah.
We saw you last weekend. You've got a good rock setup, but obviously you're going to change the gearing coming into this one, eh?
Yeah, no, I'm going to put it on the angry mode and have a little bit harder suspension and go see how it handles on the straight fast stuff. But it'll be fun. It's going to be good.
Can't remember, were you still busted when we raced this last year, or do you know this track?
I do know the track. I did race this last year. Yeah, it was a good race. I had fun on this race, so I'm going to try push and hopefully get a win today. But see how it goes. Yeah.
Kochi, here we go once again. GXCC swinging off the back. Rysmierbult, here we go.
Yeah, straight after last week's Farm Jam. It was hot. I see today is going to be hotter as well. So it's going to be exciting. I think glad to be back. The circus is rolling again. So yeah, we're on it. Looking forward to it. I mean, just thanks to Shumwell's Yamaha for putting this all together again for us for another year. And I think it's going to be a good one.
And you're the of the gate once again. There's lighties come to find you.
No, geez, like it, man. You know, this is definitely getting too old for this gate. I think next year is definitely going to be the year to step one up. I know there's a couple of new old faces back in the game. Dion de Toy's back in the mix. Yanni's back on form. So gonna have to go and see how much love and war we can play out there on the field today.
Rian, the old dog back, eh? Couldn't keep you away. Welcome back to GXCC, brother.
No, thanks, man. You know, 4 months back, I made a decision. It was time. I done a lot of preparation. So yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
How long ago was it that you swung a leg on this?
Well, 4 years since the last race and 7 years since the last GXCC, so it's been a while.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the kids are going to come for you. They're going to call you on the line. You know that, eh?
Yeah, no, I know it's going to happen. So I'm entering 30s now. So yeah, we're going to give our best.
Welcome back. Can't wait to see you out there.
Oh, thanks, man. We're going to give our all and yeah, just enjoy it.
Yo, Quarter Pounder, here we are once again, 2025, and there's a big chance of you winning this gate this year.
Yeah, I have big hopes going into the year. Last year was my first year on the 450, trying things out, trying new things. But the bike's dialed in now, so hopefully this year is my year.
Tell me about the setup on the bike. Same bike, just a little off-season tweak every now and again, hey?
Yeah, same bike as last year, but obviously the new suspension setup and all that, but pretty much the same bike as last year.
Yanni, it's been so long since we've seen you back at full fitness or 95% fitness, and we're starting out at one of your favorite tracks, Rysmierbult.
How's it, Matt? Yeah, it's been a while. I won't say it's my favorite track, but yeah, I'm here. I'm ready as can be. I'm glad to be where I am today because it's been a long journey. Training hard. Looking forward to this year. Yeah, I'm stoked. I appreciate it to be here. So I'm really happy. Yeah.
Looking forward to the race. Was it like 2 years ago? Just over 2 years ago since the big crash?
Yeah, September 23, end of September 23, yeah, so it's been a while, yeah.
Tell me about the neck injuries. I can see you're still moving a little bit stiff there, but like I say, about 95%, eh?
Yeah, no, that's true, Matt, but you know what's the secret? As soon as I put my helmet on, the neck's loose. So yeah, it looks uncomfortable, but it's just stiff. It's not sore or anything, so yeah, I'm used to it now, so can't look back, only forward.
Come on, let's reignite the old relationship. Give us a shout out to Kochi.
Yeah, Kochi, I'm back. I'm on a 450, so you better watch out. You can look behind you, but that's only going to be once, and then I'll be past.
Dude, officially a senior, but look at that senior gate.
Yeah, it's hectic. There's quite a few fast guys there, so it's going to be fun.
At least you got a setup on the bike. Same wagon as last year, a couple of tweaks though.
Yeah, it's a couple of tweaks, same bike, so it's going to be good. I enjoy the bike, so it's going to be fun.
And Rysmierbult, one of your good tracks, one of your bad tracks?
I haven't finished here in I think like 10 years. I haven't finished one race. Yeah, bad track. Since we've done juniors, yeah, I haven't finished a race. So yeah, hopefully I get a mojo off my back today.
Zans, it seems to be the story in the pits. Lots of changing in the off season. Tell me your story.
Yeah, I must say, Matt, yes, this has been a great opportunity to ride for Yamaha South Africa. Also with the idea of getting some more exposure to the racing community. I think the guys have been underestimating Yamaha for quite some time. So yeah, we're out here and showing them what we can do.
It's been the story of the pits. I'm walking the pits. It's gone blue.
Well, we're trying to. We're trying to. Need to show these Austrian guys what's up.
Tell me about the tracks. Obviously, you had some bike issues last year, but you know these tracks, you know the tour, you know GXCC, and you should know your competition.
Yeah, I must say, so the track, I must say, is quite fast. I think we're going to battle a bit today on the 250 to stay up with the bigger boys, but yeah, just watching out for the lurkers and I think grabbing at full ones.
I think getting this right has also picked up your confidence. You look like a strong dude this year.
Oh, we're trying. We're putting in the training and crossfitting and everything, so I must say up to those guys. Yeah, feeling strong for the year, so yeah, let's see what we can do.
Drickus, what an amazing season last year you had, and now in the off-season, big changes. Tell me your story.
Yeah, it's a new year, a new beginning. Got the new bike on a YZ 125 now. Yeah, hopefully gonna do good in the high school class. It's a big class. Yeah, hoping for the best.
I mean, you're a big dude, you don't mind me saying that. It's mostly muscle, I think. But you're a heavy guy, so power to weight. The small kids might have it on you.
Yeah, I think on the straights, the small kids will have the bigger advantage. But in the corners, I think I can sit the bike tight in the corners.
How much time have you put in? That's the question of the day. How much time have you spent on the new sled?
Not that much time on the new bike. Don't even have 5 hours on the bike yet, so it's still new. Still getting used to the bike. Yeah.
Tell me about the hopes and dreams for this year, because obviously hopping up there with the championships that you managed to now done last year, you must be wanting top threes every time.
Yeah, I'm hoping for top threes every time just to get ease into the class. Yeah.
Just tell me about the support package for this season as well. Obviously, change of teams is the big story.
Yeah, I changed teams from Mastercars to Megs Racing. Big thanks to them for all the support in the pits, and Chummel's Yamaha for all the mechanical work. Big thanks to them.
Geez, Ty, what an off-season. So many changes, hey? Try catch me up.
Yeah, no, everything's changed. The colours, as you can see, we're now in blue. Moved from the Hondas over to the Yamahas. It's new everything, but we had a good off-season, lots of time to prep, and we're coming in ready.
I think you're more ready than the other guys, because before you were red, you were blue.
Yeah, blue has been in my blood since early days, basically since 125s. All I've been riding is blue, and I'm so stoked to be back on a Yamaha.
Tell me about the story, because you came good at the end of last season, but you need a good start to this season.
Yeah, I am going to come on record and categorically say I'm terrible at starts. Let's just do that. Let's hope I get the reverse of last year's jinx. But yeah, I think we had good riding last year. The starts hurt me in GXCC. But I think this year we've got a good bike, had a good off-season. I'm coming in healthy. I think it's going to be a good year.
Rysmierbult this time of year, good time, because obviously we're going to keep the dust down a little bit today.
Yeah, I had a quick walk onto the route. It looks like the dust should be settled. Probably kick up late in the afternoon, but it should allow us to do some good hard racing out there.
Peter, we've been talking about this move for what seems like years. You're excited about coming in on a new category?
Hey, too much. I think it's been enough time now on a 250, and yeah, I think it's time. The bike suits me really good, and yeah, feels a lot better. Been sorting out suspension on it with Justin. He's done an amazing job. So yeah, Lawrence has helped me a lot with getting it sharp, and yeah, I think everyone has their part to play, and yeah, put a team together.
And after all this time, you know Rysmierbult, so how are you feeling about this one? I'm so glad we came here in the early part of the year before the big dust came.
Yeah, so I'm super glad it's a bit wet. I hope that the sun doesn't dry it out too quickly, but we'll figure that out now, and yeah, love this place. Just hope we stay away from the high-speed rocks and get over them if there is any of them, but yeah, let's get it.
Fanji, dude, tell me about the setup for this year. You're obviously a big player in the GXCCs. What do you got for us this season?
Yeah, I'm just excited to come out. I also do it for fun. I really enjoy it. It's always good to get a trophy at the end of the season, which I enjoy. Yeah, still my same 2021 EXC 350. I really love it, man. It's just a good time, and I'm excited to be out here. Never worried about the tracks.
No, dude, I tell you what, I ran this track yesterday. It's perfect. It's got literally everything on it that you want.
Awesome, I'm excited. I love it. Let's get wet.
Nate Dog, after a career spent on 125s, welcome to the 250s. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. The 250s got a lot more power, a lot more speed, and at least I don't have to clutch as much. So that's going to be a lot more fun. And yeah, it's really fast compared to 125.
It's always ask the guys in the crossover, how much time have you got on the new sled?
I've had about 3 to 4 months on the 250, and I rode my 125 again after that, and I don't think I'll switch back. I can't.
Do you remember Rysmierbult from last year? Obviously you were running clear air, you were off the front. This time you may have to do a little bit of chasing. I'm not cursing it, but there's a big gate lining up next to you.
yeah, I got a really big gate. Last year I came out third in the maze, managed to get to first, so hopefully I can do the same this year.
Tell me about the switch up, change of teams, you're now on the roost.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Got a lovely KTM behind me, and I think it's going to be a good year.
Big John on the big bike, tell me the story.
Yeah, so this year's 450 and yeah, stacked class, but I'm excited.
Tell me about the setup though, because obviously it's not that different, it's just different players on the gate.
Yeah, lots of new guys in the 450 class, Maddie, and I think lots of new guys, and I think it's going to be fun. The 450 suits me, it's much better than the 350, so it's going to be a good one.
I think the story of this race is not necessarily an early start to the season, but not many guys got their setup dialed in early.
Yeah, lots of people still struggling with setup, but we're getting that sorted out, and I think today is just we have to finish. You can't come and fall on your head. Yeah, you have to finish the whole season. So, yeah.
Goal is to remain top 5 for today, and then build from there.
Yeah, I'm aiming for a top 5 overall, and yeah, podium in the 01 class would be great.
Kawasaki squad out here once again, and the guys are dialed in on these bikes. They know exactly how to get the best out of them for 2025.
Yeah, they do, and again, thanks to Kawasaki for their support, even though they've pulled out of motorsport in the country, but they're still supporting us with whatever they can. The riders are all in it, and yeah, to have fun again as normal. And with poor old Cam, yeah, we did have expectations last year. We expected him to spend more time on podiums than hospital beds, but hopefully he's thrown that out the window this year, and he can take the fight to them like he deserved to last year.
V, here we go once again, and 2025 round number 1. Have you seen that gate?
Yeah, no, it's I've looked at the entry list. It's I mean, I spoke to my dad. There's about 8 guys that can actually win this thing. So I mean, I'm going out there to have some fun. I'm still learning the ropes of the 450. But yeah, I found a good setup. The track looks amazing, so I'm sure we're in for a good day.
You looked buzzed on the big bike last year, man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely suits my riding style. I just need to get used to racing it. You know, riding it and training it is one thing, but then getting into race pace is a different thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm taking race by race, and then yeah, I'll be learning the ropes as the year goes on.
I think the upgrades that have happened in the team, a lot of people chopping and changing. You guys nice and comfortable, you've got your base settings, so you might be starting with an early advantage.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the team has been the same, the data has also been the same. I mean, the Kawasaki stock standard bike, I mean, this thing is just an amazing bike. So yeah, we've basically just serviced the suspension, and yeah, put fuel in the bike, and then we're going out to have some fun.
Yo, Cam, the of the gates, eh? That's the story.
Yeah, this year I feel like the matric between the grade 8s, but they're keeping me on my toes, just going out there, doing what we all love, and most important, to come back safe. And yeah, we'll see this year is a lot of new talent coming through the ranks. A lot of changes in the classes, so it's gonna get used to checking who's behind you or who's in front of you, but all for the fun. And we're very privileged and honored to be back here racing again this year. And yeah, we just like to thank our sponsors, Uncle Ian, Pepper, Pepson Plastics, Motul, Michelin, and most of all Kawasaki.
Can I just tell you something? You had the biggest smile on your face the whole way through last year in your comeback season. But are you going to be smiling the whole way through this year as well?
Look, this year's a different game plan. Last year was a comeback season, so we never had any expectations. But yeah, the competitiveness will always be there, so you know what you're capable of. So we'll see how this first race goes. Just get this Christmas dinners and stuff worked off, and then we'll take it from there.
Brother man, here we go one more time, and this is a good track for you, I know that.
Yeah, last year's the only race I finished, and I got a 3rd place there, so quite happy to be back here. Different time of season, looks a bit loamy, the ground, looks very lacquer. A lot of competition in 01 Pro this year, quite excited. The young guns are coming up, you know, the new blood, they must come. Hopefully they can give me a chance today, but yeah, we're just going to go out and have a big joy.
Well done in the off-season. We got a skinny one this time, eh?
Yeah, I got a bit of extra traction for the 450. So yeah, no, I'm just here. I want to really just have a good season. Last year wasn't a good season, but yeah, this year I'm here to finish all the races. I just want to thank Uncle Ian and Pepson Plastic, Kawasaki, Motul, and Michelin, and all the other sponsors for continuing to support me.
Rooster, here we go again, but I heard you aren't in the best shape at the moment.
No, I came down with a heavy flu this week,
and yeah, I'm at 50% right now, but not to be here wasn't an option. So here we are, back on the old goal again, and I'm so excited to be here. Hoping that once the gate drops, throttle opens, you forget about the illness and back to business.
Every year we don't think that OR1 Pro Gate can get any wilder, but this year, my goodness me.
Yeah, wow. You know, I contemplated, should I make the jump to seniors yet? And I don't know, I'm loving the OR1 Pro Gate. It really pushes my riding. I really enjoy it. Yeah, but this year it's I think the heaviest hitters that we've had in the OR1 Pro Gate in a long, long time. So it's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting.
Maddie, a very brief baptism of fire last year, but this year locked and loaded, eh?
Yes, yeah, looking forward to it. Last year, first time ever doing it. Made a couple of mistakes. Saw red mist, so yeah, it was a big learning curve, but it was an important one. So yeah, we're back here today, looking to just get through today, get as much information about the bike as possible. Obviously, still getting used to the 3 hours, but yeah, looking forward to it. It should be a good day. Not too hot out, and track looks pretty sweet. So looking forward to it, and trying to get through to today, and yeah, get to the end, and whatever happens, we'll take it as it comes.
Enjoying the atmosphere in the team, because there's a big setup here, lots of experience.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. We are blessed to have such an awesome team. Harry's done a great job. Thanks to Yamaha and everyone putting this together. My personal sponsors, Fox, TBR Suspension. So yeah, no, it's a great team. It's a great atmosphere. We've got a lot of riders, a lot of youngsters as well, which is awesome. It brings a unique atmosphere to the team. So I'm getting a little bit older now. So yeah, having the youngsters in the team around us and the youth is really, really cool. So yeah, it's an awesome team, and I'm very, very happy to be here.
Shout out to the gates. I checked their entry list. OR1 Pros. Looks like AMA Supercross, dude.
Yeah, I know, it's stacked. Guys, the class is stacked. So I know we've got some really good riders. I know that the guys are fast. So definitely just coming in, wanting to learn. Not coming here with any kind of expectations. Just trying to learn and just better myself each time I get on the bike and every time I go out there and ride. So yeah, it's gonna be a hard day. It's gonna be a hard year. But I'm looking forward to it, man. It's a new challenge, and it's something that I'm keen to do.
Hayes changed a bike, but coming in with a lot of experience, and you know this track, dude.
Yeah, look, new bike, super excited to be on the M. Know this track, really rough, lots of rocks. So yeah, let's hope it all goes to plan.
I was just talking to Maddie. What a gate, dude. What a lineup.
Flip, yeah, this OR1 class has just grown, eh? From last year to this year. The amount of talent that is in there, it's going to be an awesome year.
You walk the first K, check out how the hook is going to go, because it's going to be wild in that first K.
I've walked the maze. I kind of know a bit of the first section. It's pretty much the same, so yeah, hopefully we found a good line and can get out in front first.
Maddie, great to see you back on the gate. Full fitness for the first time at the beginning of the season. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know, eventually no broken bones from November or December. So yeah, full fitness. Happy to be on the 350 in the R2 class. I think it's going to be a good day.
I think this might be a 350cc track. I mean, I checked it out yesterday. The straights are big and they're wide open, but when it's tech, it's quite busy.
No, I think it's going to be good. The 350, she's got some extra legs to the 250. That copy at the back will be quite interesting, but I think it's going to be good.
And just a shout out to your gates. Have you looked at the entry list? Man!
No, the gate's big. I think Pete and I are going to have a good dice in front there. You see who comes out on top.
What are the chances of getting through all that 450 traffic? Because there's some big swingers up there as well.
I'm hoping we catch him on the faster stuff, and hopefully the 350 has the legs to go past if they're not fully pinned. If not, we'll make our way through in the rocks at the back section, but otherwise I think the 350 will be good, so yeah.
Scotty H back in 2025, the reigning champ, and everyone's gunning for you.
Obviously having won the last year, obviously I think there's a little bit of a target on my back, but coming back from injury and stuff, we're just here to build the blocks again and build a foundation and see where we stand. I don't think we are where we need to be, and I think that will probably be evident today because we've got a lot of work to put in. But yeah, we've been doing some testing with Uncle Kev, and we've made some steps on the bike, and yeah, the bike is really awesome, so I can't give it up enough to the whole Brother Leader Tread KTM team, and especially to Uncle Kev. He's been taking me out to Rhino last weekend, and we did some testing, so I look forward to today. I think the track is sick. I know Uncle Vian and Auntie Miranda always do an incredible job, and they set us some really cool routes, so I'm excited for it, and we'll just see how today goes. And yeah, obviously it wasn't my plan to come out because we're still in rehab, but obviously it's always good to get a race or two under your belt before nationals come around. So yeah, we're just going to have some fun and see how it goes.
As they say in NASCAR, let's bring them to the line and start those engines. There was definitely some tension out there, as especially we looked at the focus points of the OR1 Pros, which had a talent pool deeper than the Atlantic Ocean. First flag drop of the afternoon would be the Big Bangers. Dav Cocker, as he has done in the past before, jumped out on the factory Husqvarna with Scotty H, Vian Wenzel and Maddie Milan along for the ride. That's 4 different manufacturers running inside of the top 4. Great for the industry. OR2 Pros, Peter Karam finally jumps up into the 350 category, gets the whole shot ahead of Seth Lilford. Maddie Wilson was there, and Dina DeVette, the reigning Pro-Am champion, moves up into the Pro Gate and mixes it up with the big dogs. OR3 Pros, Tyron Beverly gets the monkey off his back and gets the cheese with a rock and roll hole shot ahead of Kurbis Bester and Derek Karam. The 250cc Pros was going to be a busy one. High schools, incredible situation where we see Mullet Man making the move up from the 85s last season onto a Sherco 125. He's out there ahead of Drickus van der Merwe, Jean-Dre van Mark and John Bart Maritz. High school is going to be interesting. Seniors, also some new young blood coming up there. Hugh Levy gets the cheese. Yanni Potgieter, aggressive as always, gets up into the mix, along with Carl de Toy, Marco Cocci, and Burry Smith going down. He would have to chase down through the dust. For the Masters, Peter Hall, always going to be a strong bet on the factory Kawasaki, ahead of Kobus Jonk, Warwick van Skalkwyk. Farmer still out with injury. He's only going to be a show-up later on the tour. For the veteran gate, cool to see Ian Fenter coming out of the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad, being off the gate for something like 6 or 7 seasons. He was going to be boxing it out with Conrad Edwards, Dick Bessinger and Jeremy Smith to see what he could do. Into the Pro-Ams and the OR1 Big Bangers. Smallberger narrowly missing out on the championship last season. He was going to be hoping for a strong start, and he had a great gate. He was going to be out there boxing it out with Yuka Hall and Ben Vessels. OR2 Pro-Ams, Jaco Nordia, second place in last year's championship. He was the pre-race favourite, but he had Ruby Roo along for the ride. That's Ruben Stratham, Nathan Godrich and Russell Van Gool. OR3 Pro-Ams, the Leslies came back in force at the opening round of the championship in 2025. Jason Leslie was out there banging bars with Jaden Boyce, and new to GXCC's Jerome Stubbs. The Senior Pro-Ams, a incredible gate where we also saw some new players coming into the mix. Richard Hine would be out there, Big Chris, as well as Gerard Foster. 7 riders on that gate, meaning it was going to be a wild championship. In the Pro-Am OR4s, Jake the Snake, second place in last year's championship, was going to be a strong bet on the Kawasaki. He would have to box it out with Dillman, Chris Holmser Jr. and Bryson Daister. And for the ladies, 9 ladies on the gate. A rare non-hole shot for the pocket rocket Nicole Duplessis. She had some issues off the line. That meant it was Brooklyn Lilford, Gabby Fotheringham and Bianca Edwards that would bang bars and go out into the main loop. Talking of the main loop and the big gates in the afternoon, let's chat to V. Afternoon session is going to be all about the big bikes, and when we talk about big bikes, we're talking about big gates, and the talent on the gate today is wild.
Matt, I never thought I'd see the day where you're going to have 6-7 guys, even more, on the OR1 gate, that it's anybody's game. You know, it's OR1, OR2, OR3, high school. I mean, you can go through all the gates. There's such a lot of movement that's been going on with guys moving in classes. It is going to be a very interesting season.
It is indeed. We're going to go out there and take on Rysmierbult. It's the first round of the GXCCs, and it's going to get wild. It is indeed. The track was going to look like it would hold up. The weeks of rain coming into the event would keep the dust down in the early laps, and the little splash through the river as the heat came up would be a blessing as everyone started to cook out there in Rysmierbult. The ladies and the Pro-Ams would be the focus of the first section, where Susan DeVette was able to run a number 7. Linda Muir in a number 6, and Megan Duplessis had some issues on the day, only completing one of the racing laps, eventually tagging in enough to get a number 5 finish. It's the early part of a championship, 8 rounds, so all you got to do is bring home the bacon at every round, and you can climb that ladder. Janice Muir was up to a number 4, 2 laps under her belt, and then inside the top 3, all the top 3 ladies staying on the lead lap. Gabby Fotheringham off of the 125 that she got famous for riding the last couple of seasons, getting more comfortable on the 250 machine. Bianca Edwards had gelled nicely with the Husqvarna. She was the fastest lady through the water splash, round about the halfway marker of the lap. Comfortable on the 300 machine, got the gearing right and able to run a number 2 finish. Not too far off the eventual win as well, so we are going to see that gap close down. Only 3 minutes in it between Edwards and the race winner, Brooklyn Lilford. Lilford had the season all her own way last year. I think the girls are coming for her in 2025. OR4 Pro-Ams, 4 riders on the gate. Chris Hamser Jr. for the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad was on the lead lap and was definitely part of the conversation. 4th place for him. Bryson Daister just up the road in a number 3 spot. Definitely been putting in the off-season work as the entire squad of the Daisters. Alexander Dillman, very, very good in the early laps. Made some issues for himself throughout the day, but was good enough to get a number 2 spot. And then it was Jake the Snake at the top of the pile. This is exactly what he wanted. He was the dominant force at the opening rounds of 2024. He continues to run that form once again, taking the Kawa to the top step. Moving up into the senior Pro-Ams, where once again we saw a couple of new names, faces and manufacturers joining the party. Abraham Kurabali, so cool to see him out in the early running for the championship. 2 laps under his belt and a number 7 ride. Aubrey de Meyer, so often inside of the top 3 or 4 for the championship count last year. This time around, some problems dropping him down to a number 6. He's going to have to climb the ladder throughout the rest of the championship tour. Hendrik Buerter joins the party and brings it home to a number 5, putting around about 10 minutes into de Meyer. And then big Chris Hamser, the main dude from the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad. Couldn't find his groove on the day, but still good enough for a number 4 ride. That's going to keep him in the championship conversation. Richard Hine, never far away from a top 2 finish the whole way through last season's championship. He'll be relatively comfortable with a number 3 ride. And he was just a minute off the back wheel of Peter Peltzer. The Peltzers coming in nice and strong, spreading throughout a lot of the categories here at the GXCCs. And then Gerard Foster making the move in the off-season from the seniors to the Pro-Am seniors and showing his form. He's definitely going to be the man to beat on the factory Yamaha. The 109 light years ahead of the rest of the field. OR3 Pro-Ams, interesting to see who is going to be able to dominate this category. There's a lot of talent around inside of that top 5. Jaden Boyce, number 8, he'll have been hoping for a better finish than that, but he'll have the whole season to improve. Leonard Vanderberg and Hansi Vanderberg joined at the hip and separated by just 2 minutes come the end of play, locking out number 7 and number 6 on the day. Henko Prinsloo to a number 5, also staying on the lead lap. And the times inside the top 5 were starting to get extremely close. Brendan De Bruin was up there into a number 4, trying to get himself into the mix and tag onto the Rock and Rollers, staying inside of the top 3. The great news for all of the categories was the track did hold together well throughout the afternoon session as the heat just pumped and pumped, getting us up into the high 30s. Jason Leslie and Jerome Stubbs were very much together throughout the entire first half of the race. Leslie with a little bit more GXCC experience, and Stubby coming off a couple of tours racing on the farm jams. This is his first ever GXCC ride, so he had to do a lot of learning, and he grabbed a good back wheel to follow. Himself and Leslie joined until the last lap. Stubby eventually being able to use his fitness and his skill to get himself up there into a number 2 spot, but it was Janko van die Kerk that climbed the ladder to the very top, putting just over 5 minutes into his closest rivals. He leads heading to round number 2. OR2 Pro-Ams, interesting situation as well, where we will once again see a new champion, with the champions from 2024 moving up into the pro categories. Nathan Godrich was back with us into a number 7. We will see him if he can get his form back, running inside of the top 3 at some point this year. Godrich was there in a number 7, with Christian Swart tagging a number 6 ride. We chatted to Russ Van Gool at the beginning of the day, and the big guy, Van Gool, into a number 5. one or two small mistakes throughout the course, but room for improvement. Number 5 still keeps him in the championship hunt. Remember, a lot of these riders and racers won't have raced anything since the last round of the GXCCs in November last season. So for many riders, it was very much a dust-off. Dwayne Leslie joined the party this time around as well, getting himself up there into a number 4 spot, just off the back wheel of second place runner in last year's championship, Jaco Nordia. Nordia would have been hoping for a better run than this, but he does tend to burn a little bit stronger as the season gets longer. The comeback kid, Rian Prinsloo, riding out of Lowveld Motorsports, gets himself into the mix on a 350 4-stroke, historically a 250cc 4-stroke rider, but great to see Rian Prinsloo coming back with a bang and getting himself into a very strong position. He missed out on the win by less than 30 seconds to Ruben Stratum, the C2, back on the top step and looking to dominate the championship. He's the dude to beat at the moment on the OR2 Pro-Am gate. Very close times throughout the top 8 in the OR1 Pro-Am big bangers. Kenneth Planum squeaks his way inside of a number 8. Stefan Labuskakny, the reigning rookies champion from last season, moves up into the OR1 Pro-Ams and shows his good form into a number 7 ride. He was in good company as well. He had medium size just up the road from him. That's Shane Nienaber, number 6 ride for the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad, with Stefan just behind him as a teammate. Dennis van der Merwe getting the job done out there and charging hard, always going to be in the conversation for the top 5. And one of the big stories of the day was Francois Smallberger Jr. dropping down from an incredible start to a number 4 ride. But the times were extremely close. 2 hours 54 versus 2 hours 53 and 2 hours 53. So even though it was a 4th place finish, he was in sight of 2nd place. 3rd and 4th this time around going to Xander Myberg. Nice and aggressive style. Definitely a rider that has kept his fitness high throughout the off-season. And Francois Hall, the whole family seem to come out swinging at every single GXCC they arrive at. Francois Hall, super aggressive through the water splash and nice and comfortable in the number 2 spot. But it was a comfortable gap out front as the man that ran inside the top 3 at multiple rounds of the championship in 2024, Ben Vessels, hammers the nail, putting 3 minutes between himself and his closest rivals.
B, you set yourself some high targets this season. Another strong performance, but tell me about the day, tell me about the track. How did it break down?
Yeah, it was fun. Like, I enjoyed. There's rocks, there's fast, there's flowing, there's water. It was everything. Oh, it was so much fun. I loved it.
I think we're locked in for one of those hot seasons. Last weekend it was like 38. Today's like 38. It's going to be one of those.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be hot this year, but it's fun. It pushes you, motivates you. I mean, all my ladies riding really pushed me today, getting hot.
Kicked off the season with a bang. We've got a couple of weeks break, so you're going to have to like turn up the training a little notch as well.
Yeah, definitely. But thanks to my Bikers Warehouse team for helping me get here, and they keep me strong.
Perfect like that. Job done. Thank you.
Here's a confirmation of our Pro-Am and our ladies results. In the Pro-Am OR1 Big Bangers, Vessels confirms he is the man at the moment, ahead of Hull, Myberg, Smallberger, van der Merwe and Nienaber, with Labuskakny, our reigning rookies champion, showing good form in a number 7. OR2 Pro-Ams puts Ruby Roo on the top step, but it's very close. It was less than 30 seconds between himself and Prinsloo. Nordia, 2nd place in last year's championship, 3rd place at the opening round, beating out on Leslie and Van Gool. OR3 Pro-Am sees Janko van Niekerk as the main dude. That was quite a big buffer, just under 5 minutes ahead of Stubby. Stubby takes his first podium at the GXCCs at the first time of asking, beating out on Leslie, De Bruyn and Henku Prinsloo. And for our senior Pro-Ams, Gerard Foster makes a great move in the off-season. That puts him at the top of the charts, hammering the rest of the competition. Peter Peltzer on the number 2, Hein in the 3 spots, and Big Chris in the number 4. Staying with the Pro-Ams into the OR4 category, where we saw a lot of movement in the off-season, meaning there's going to be some open gates. Jake the Snake takes first blood, dropping the hammer on Dillman, Deister, and Chris Harmster Jr. And for our ladies, good numbers on the gate. That's going to tighten things up in the championship. Lilford was the best, but Edwards is coming on strong on the smoker. She beat out on Fotheringham, Muir, Duplessis, Muir, and DeVette. Next up, we start to climb the ladder into our age group categories. Let's kick things off with our veterans, where Jan de Jager brought out a old model Sherco, but good enough for 2 laps under his belt, 2 hours and 40 minutes in the saddle, and a number 8 finish ride. Mark Nell was up the road from him, putting around about 25 minutes into the rider off his back wheel as they chased onto the back wheel of Johan Fourie. Fourie, been supporting the GXCCs for the last couple of seasons now. He'll be happy with his over 3 hours in the saddle and staying on the lead lap. Father of Bianca Edwards, Conrad Edwards, brings out his beater to the GXCCs, changes the gearing, and swings off the back. Number 5 ride. He'll be relatively happy with his day in the saddle. He was in a huge dice with Dick Bessinger of the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad. Those 2 riders separated by less than a minute come the end of play, but it was Bessinger that got the number 4 position. Jeremy Smith in with a shout for the championship this year. He's going to be a rider to watch out for. Very comfortable with the style of riding and the GXCC layout of terrain. Lars Brandlin was a number 2 finish, and the Alfie Cox Racing rider on the 63 was going to be in it for the championship. Top 3s at every single round. We'll see him as a championship player, as he eventually had to bow down to a 2-minute gap put down by Ian Fenter. Out of GXCC racing for a couple of seasons now, but he's still got the golden touch. He had a great gate, and the track just came perfectly to him. Well done, Ian, on your comeback ride, getting the win. Into the Masters then, as we start to climb up through the rest of the age categories. JJ Duvall into a number 8 with 2 laps under his belt. Jakes Muir into a number 7. The Muir family, welcome to GXCCs. I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Kobus Turon was able to muscle his way through and splash his way to stay onto a number 3 count in the Masters gate. Everyone on 3 laps from 2nd all the way through to 7th. It was only our eventual race winner that stayed on a 4-lap count. That's the same lap count as the pro riders out there as well. Conrad Sieber brought the big Honda up the road to a number 5. Himself, JJ Rousseau, and Francois Swanepoel were all over each other in the early part of the race until it started to settle down. Eventually, Sieber was tagged with a number 5 ride, Rousseau with a number 4, and Francois Swanepoel, Captain Consistency as we like to call him, with a number 3 finish. Rousseau, good enough though to recover from his early race problems to cement that number 4 ride. He eventually finished less than a minute off the back wheel of Francois Swanepoel. The Roos KTM rider, nice and comfortable on the same machine he rode out last season, so he's got the sweet setup on that ride. Top 2 riders were pretty high on the ladders, and it looks like Kobus Jonk, the Viking, did a bit of a strategy call. He had enough off his back wheel to know that he had the number 2 spot wrapped up, and he rolled off so he didn't have to go and do that final lap. He left Peter Hall to put on the show out there. Hall was way inside of the time bar, so he went out and did the 4th lap as a glory run. And the Pepsi Plastics Kawasaki man continues to be the master to beat. In the senior pros, Marco Cocci, some rare mechanical issues on his machine. It was an intermittent electrical problem that allowed his machine to keep stalling out. And eventually, Cocciolicious had to drop down to a number 8. That's going to hurt his chance of a championship this season. Yanni Potgieter, he got lost on lap number 1 and had to do the big fight back, eventually finishing at number 7. But great to see Yanni back to almost full fitness once again. Fergie McAdam on the Bikers Warehouse Husky squad was happy enough with a number 6 ride. 3 hours exactly on his scorecard. That's a good day in the saddle. Carl DeToy, King Carl for the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad, was also out there getting lost on lap number 1. A rider error by his own admission, but he did a good fight back to eventually tag a number 5. That's some good recovery there. Henny Blicknot stayed out of trouble. The Dark Destroyer always just bringing home the bacon, keeping his nose clean. 4th place, he'll be very happy with that. 3 laps under his belt of 2 hours and 56 minutes of racing. Bowie Smith, even though he tucked the front out of the start gate, did a great recovery ride on the 303 machine to get his best ever senior pro finish, tagging a number 3 ride. And he stayed on the lead lap as well, 4 laps under his belt. Bew Levy, so strong in the early laps as well. Eventually, the pass was made by the race leader, but Bew was comfortable in the number 2 spot, but he said the heat really got to him at the end of the day. John Vulking on the OR1 Pro Gate last season ages out and eventually moves up into the Senior Pro category. Hammered the nail, putting 5 minutes into Bew Levy. John Vulking is the new points leader in the Senior Pros. High school category, Mullet Man Liam Skeepers in the off-season making a lot of noise on social media, getting as many laps and hours as he can on the bigger bike, and the Sherco 125 is his weapon of choice, 8th place in the opening round. Hanyu de Kock, relatively comfortable on the 125, one of the bigger kids coming out of the junior categories, but the talent in the high school gate is wild. De Kock, relatively comfortable with a number 7 ride with Willem Buerter on the Megs Racing machine, getting it done to a number 6 finish. 3 laps under his belt. And the riders that made it inside of the top 5 all stayed on the pro lead lap. That's 4 laps scored and counted. Jandre Vermaak definitely looks more comfortable on his machine this year. Tags a number 5 finish. Franco Ferri, after a season dogged by injuries last year, he is full fighting fit, riding out of the newly formed UB Leisure KTM squad. 4th place, relatively happy with that one. But the riders inside the top 3 were a class act. Drickus van der Merwe, a 2-time champion coming off the junior and the OR4 categories from last season and moving up into the Megs Racing Yamaha squad, 3rd place and not too far off the top 2. Murray Man, also a former pro junior champion. 1 or 2 issues on the day holding him back from the eventual race win, but Murray Man was back on the money, 2nd place and just over 4 minutes off the back wheel of eventual race winner and teammate Tyler Pedersen. The Pedersens dipping their toe into GXCC racing last year, coming in this year banging hard. High school points leader heading to round number 2, Tyler Pedersen. At the flag, we caught up with some reactions from our age group category riders.
Brother, I know that was a super long, hot day, but you've just won your first ever seniors event. Congrats.
Thank you, but it was hard. All the dust and everything. Usually starting in the first row, now back in the 5th row or 4th row. It's insane with the dust, but it was fun.
Did you chase up the road and find some of the kids?
Yeah, I did. I passed some of the OR1 guys as well, but it was hard. Yes, unbelievable all the dust we get out there.
Change your mindset going into the seniors? Can you roll back and chill a little bit, or do you still have to push hammer down?
No, the last lap I saw when I came out of the pits, the second one, senior wasn't even in, so I just tapped down and just cruised, kept a lacquer pace and just finished.
Stoked on the first win?
Yeah, it's fun. It's something new.
Big Peter, 1 by 1, the lads fell and you were out there by yourself, eh?
Yeah, I don't know. In the beginning I saw Kobus behind me and then I don't see him, and I started racing the other guys because I just enjoy riding. So yeah, it was still fun out there, and Vian just put an awesome track together again, and I really am enjoying myself.
You must have looked forward to that river splash every single, well, like all the other riders. Everyone's like, favourite bit of the track, the water splash.
Yeah, no, you go fast through there so that you get some water on you. It's actually, I thought this morning it's going to be cool, but it was actually quite hot. And yeah, that splash was actually quite nice.
Dude, break down the track for me. Obviously great marking, but how did the track develop through the day?
Yeah, in some sections, rocks came out and there was a bit of lurker, so you've got to be careful. But my blue nut suspension did the trick there. And the sections through the forest was actually quite muddy. So, and you got grip, and you had actually grip in the grassy sections as well, in the turf down in the flay. So that was very nice, and it's nice to ride bike when you've got, when you can corner it and you can pull the G's, and yeah, no, awesome.
Shame, a lot of the masters on the sidelines. Wayne's out there crying because he can't go racing. Warwick said, how's it? Viking, I think, played a short game. He didn't want to go out on big laps today.
Yeah, I feel sorry for them. I invite them to come back. I'm waiting for them. So I enjoy racing, and I always say that if you haven't got competitors, you haven't got a sport. So yeah, I enjoy having them in the game, and I hope they can heal and come back, and Warwick can come and chase me. And I don't know what happened to Kobus, but it's his first race in a long time, so he'll be back.
Let's check out the confirmation of our age group categories. Tyler Pedersen, top of the charts in the high schools, with his teammate Murray Man Smith into a number 2 spot. Drickus van der Merwe, the big kid on the gate, in 3rd place. Those are the big swingers. Then Franco Ferri, Vermaak, Buerter, de Kock and Skeepers. In the Senior Pros, John Vulcan takes his first ever Senior Pro win, beating out on Bu Levy and Bo Smit, Blicknote, Detoy, McAdam and Podkeda. And the big story of the day, problems for Kochi, down in a number 8. For the Masters category, no big surprise. Peter Hall on the top step once again, beating out on the Viking, Yonk, Swanepoel, Rousseau, Sieber, Turon, Muir and Deval. Remember, some point in the season, Farmer is coming back. Then in the veterans category, Ian Fenter, after years out in the wilderness, coming back and hammering the nail. But Brandlin was not far off in the number 2 spot, ahead of Smit, Bessinger, Edwards, Fourie, Nell and De Jager. All right, hang on to your hats. We're heading to the pro categories. Let's climb the ladder, starting out with the OR3 Pros. Derek van Asverken making the massive move up from the 85 Pros into OR3 Pros. That is a couple of jumps up the ladder. 8th place, he's going to do a lot of learning this season. Esteban Kutzer, he's comfortable on the GXCC gate. He's got a lot of experience, and he brings the 4-stroke out to stay on the lead lap. He'll be very happy with his pace at the opening round, tagging a number 7 ride. Nardis Robbie comes back. Big surprise to see him opting to go for a 250 rather than a 350cc machine, but that's where he's comfortable, and that's where he brought it home to a number 6 finish. Alex Krobler, so good on the 125 gate the last couple of seasons. In the off-season, changes across to the 250 and shows his pace and form with a top 5 ride straight out the gate. Derek Karam, lots of moving and shaking, changing up manufacturers and sponsors over the last couple of years. Karam, relatively happy to bring it home with a consistent, solid number 4 ride. Kobus Bester stayed below the radar the whole way through the day, brought it home inside the top 10 in the overalls, and walks away with a 3rd place. He'll be very happy with that as he eyes up running those kind of numbers and that pace at the National Championship Tour as well. For Everest Wealth Yamaha, Tyron Beverly can be very happy with his run of form at round number 1. He got the gate, he got good numbers, and he got a number 2 spot that sets him up perfectly for a charge on the championship. But Cam Becker was the comeback kid last year on the Pepsi Plastic Kawasaki. He's not the comeback kid anymore. He's the man. He ripped the bars off the Kawasaki in the afternoon session to walk away with not only the win in the category, but also a 4th place overall. OR2 Pros, CD Kruisen, running inside the top 6 the whole way through last season's championship, drops down to a number 8, and that's because there's a lot of big pinners on his gate this season, dropping him down a notch. Big Ben Roostradam, the reigning OR2 Pro-Am champion, moves up into the Pro category and did a good run of form to cement a number 7 ride, not too far off the lead lap as well. Gav Jan, all too tall himself, was back out on the Bikers Warehouse Husqvarna running the 350 once again this season. He's got a couple of weapons he can choose from. He knew this was going to be a 4-stroker, so he brought out the big dog and let her eat. Xander King, making up part of the newly formed Linux Yamaha factory squad. He'll be happy with his run there in a number 5. We caught up with him before the race, and he seemed super confident. His sparring partner on the Smokers from last season, Stoffel Berger, just squeaking him to a number 4 ride. Those 2 riders finishing within 10 seconds of each other. Top 3 though were bangers. Ruben Peters coming off an overall and category win the previous weekend out at the Farm Jams shows his pace once again with a number 3 ride. Yeah, he was around about 6 minutes off the top 2, but Peters is very new to GXCCs, so he's going to be stoked on that run. Peter Karam, fast out the gate on the UB Leisure KTM 350. A career spent on 250cc machines, and his 2nd place shows that he's comfortable on the big dog. But it was Matty Wilson that hammered the nail on the rest of the field, getting himself up there into a 3rd place in the overalls and a win in the OR2 Pros. Matty Wilson and the factory Brother Leader Tread KTM on the top step. OR1 Pro Big Bangers, Rudy Vieira coming in sick as a dog at the opening round. He'll have been very happy to see the checkered flag at the end of a hot day of racing, but 8th place keeps him in the game. JC Nienaber also stayed on the lead lap, but would have been hoping for a slightly higher finish than a number 7. The pace was wild out there in the Pro Big Bangers. Eric Merry dipped a toe into the waters of the 450 category last season, but couldn't find the right setup. Now he's got the sweet spot. Fifth place means he's going to be battling for podiums at every single round. Vian Wenzel, the superstar, up there into a number 4 ride. Kept the blade nice and sharp for the Peps and Plastics Kawasaki squad. He'll be happy with his run there. And then Big John Buerta, the main dude, so strong on the OR2 Pro Gate last season, and in the off-season, as we knew he would, moves up into the big show for the Bikers Warehouse Factory squad onto the 450s. Matty Milan running inside the top 3 the whole way through the day. A bold move in the off-season for Everest Wealth Yamaha to pick up the motocross superstar and let him off the chain, but he is delivering the goods. But it was Scotty H and Dav Cocker that were wild out there on the first 3 laps of racing, swapping paint just about the whole way through the laps until the final lap. Cocker had an issue out there on the course and eventually would drop down to a number 6 ride, meaning that is the champ back on top. Scotty H takes first blood.
Scotty H, didn't look like a rehab ride to me. Take us through the day.
Yeah, obviously I got off to a fairly decent start, and then on lap 1, as you can see, I had a crash and the bike kind of did some damage to the bike, and I thought, hey, this might be it, but then it was rideable, so I made the most of it, and I made a lucky pass in the pits, and then I just put my head down and just clicked off the laps. So I think it's a good starting point for the season, and it just feels like a pre-national almost, so I think we'll just take the momentum forward and try and not crash. And I got a little bit flustered, but anyway, big shout out to the whole GXCC team for putting on such a cool track, and to Vian and his guys, the marking was spot on. Everything was good, and really looking forward to the season ahead.
Matty, it's not the win that you wanted, but it's a very, very, very powerful start to the season.
Yeah, it was a good race, man. The guys were fast, so that first lap they kind of gapped me. I made a few mistakes, but it was really fun, man. It's good to get some time under my belt, and bike was awesome. Can't give it up to the team enough, and looking forward to the national and carrying on with the momentum, man, and just rolling from this and just keeping the ball rolling. But awesome start to the year, feeling good, and we're going to build from here.
Harry, you're going to be happy with the team and your main dude.
Exactly what I set out to do. We were hanging our foot. He must just finish the race, and he did it in style. Big up to him. I think we're going to be strong in the national coming in the next 2 weeks.
Big Johnny, not a bad dust off. I know you've been working on the setup on the machine. We're probably not too far away from that sweet spot now.
Yeah, I'm super happy with the changes we've made, and Justin sorted my suspension out super nicely, and I've done today what I wanted to do. So podium in class and 4th overall. That's lekker.
How did the track hold together? Looked like it was going to chunk up.
Yeah, it was rough. It was slick, but the rain made it lekker in the morning, and it was great.
Not too much dust sucking. You guys didn't look too dirty, but it did come up in the afternoon. And the heat, man.
Yeah, no, the 01 class is lekker. When you get out nicely, you don't see too much dust. But I just want to thank my team for all they do, Bikers Warehouse, all our sponsors, Arai, Pirelli, Justin from Cycle Works, everyone else that helps me, thank you.
I hate jumping on you guys straight out the gate, but 3 hours of racing, I've got to ask you how to go.
Yeah, no, today was a tough day. The track was really demanding, but Vian and the whole GXCC team put on a great event, great track. Getting to grips with the 450 finally, my arms are tired. Super tired, but I'll get in the gym and get that sorted out. But all in all, good day. Happy to be at the finish, and I think I'm happy with how I finished.
Good way to kick off the rust day.
Oh no, for sure, definitely. What a start to the season. Only hopefully going up from here.
Tell me about the rest of the competition today. I mean, the gates, that was the story of the morning. It continues to be the story of the race.
Yeah, Peter had to jump on me at the beginning, and he made a little mistake going into the trees right here at the beginning, and I pipped him there, and from there on it was smooth sailing.
What about trying to catch these big 450s? Was this a horsepower track, or did they just have you?
No, actually, I won't lie. The 350, I think, was a perfect bike for today. There's only a few long straights at the other side of the road, but caught them in tight stuff, made the passes nice and quickly, and couldn't ask for anything more.
Cam, not a bad run of form. Tell me a story. It looked like it was wild out there.
No, Matt, it was a good season opener. Have to go back to the drawing board, work on the fitness a lot, see where we can better for the next race. But awesome track, very tough. I don't think there was one I control the race according to my fitness. So just happy we all made it back in one piece and happy with the result.
Yeah, the knows how to manage a race, eh?
Yeah, no, I think this body is already for masters, but fitness needs to pick up a bit. These young guys are, they don't give up. We need to work on some stuff, but we'll come back better.
Ty, bang a hole shot, bang a race. I mean, that's got to be a great season opener for you.
Yeah, considering this is usually the round I struggle at, I'm very happy with that. Bike ran great, we ran into no issues, so I'm glad. It's a good start to the season. Cameron was on it the whole day. I was doing everything I could and I just couldn't get the gap down. But yeah, hopefully fitness feels good, so hopefully we'll have a good season going forward.
Gives a little mental flashback. What was the favourite bit of the track for you?
I think today my favourite was actually the section through the forest. Even though it was a bit rocky, it was nice and cool. You could just let the bike kind of flow through that section, so that was quite nice.
And what gear were you in through the river?
Third gear. I had some moments, I'm sure they have some photos, but at least this time we kept the bike out of the water.
So here's confirmation of our pro categories, where Scotty H takes the overall and the win in the OR1 Pro category. Milan got to be happy with his 2 spot there, beating out on Buerta and Wenzel. They also showed great form on the day. Cocker, his problems on the final lap, dropping him down to a number 6. Matty Wilson on the top step in the OR2 Pros and 3rd place overall, showing that he's super comfortable on the 350 ahead of Karam, Peters, Berger, King, Young, Stratum and Huersen. OR2 Pros giving us a lot of top 10ers there. In the OR3 Pros, Cam Becker remains the dude to beat out there, but Tyron Beverly was agonizingly close to the win. 2 spot though will keep him in the championship hunt as he beat out Bester, Karam, Krobler and Robbie. That was all the action then from GXCC round number 1 at Rysmierbult, the first round of an 8-round championship for the GXCCs in 2025. Hold your breath, as the announcements are coming this week to tell us where we head to round number 2. All this GXCC racing action is proudly brought to you by VW Mastercars Hatfield in association with Vans Racing. So now the wheels are turning nicely. We've already got the first round of the Tough Enduros out of the way. We are coming up on the first round of the Tough X. That's going to be at Monte Casino. So go and check that out. Get your tickets. I'm going to be on the mic there. That's going to be on the first weekend of March. This coming weekend, I'm going to be out with Lawrence and Marilyn. It's going to be the opening round of the South African Cross Country Motorcycle Championship under new management with a new vibe, and Lawrence knows what he's doing. So I'm super excited about what is coming around the corner for us. Then, obviously, Monte Casino, and then we lather, rinse, repeat. We go straight into Farm Jam number 2. That's out at Ribbokloof, so get your entries in for that. And then today, I got the green light. GXCC is going to go to Bapsfontein for round number 2. So we're keeping it quite local, close to the edges of Joburg and Pretoria for the opening rounds of the GXCCs. Get those entries in for rounds 2 of the Farm Jam and the GXCCs. But wish us all luck as we go into the first round of the Nationals this weekend. Good luck to all the riders out there. I will see you guys on the line.